Episode 7 has arrived. So let's not waste any time and let's dive into what went down. And we're going to begin with Edward and Marissa.
Okay, your mother ain't doing this.
No, don't call her mommy. Don't hug, don't pick her up, don't pick anybody up. That's my...
I've always had this interesting question regarding this type of situation. And this is the question that I have for you lovely folks. When you are about to meet your partner's family, how does it make you feel when how does it make you feel when somebody tells you that you should suppress or you should act a certain type of way that isn't authentically you? How does it make you feel when somebody requests that for you? But also at the same time though, when you reverse it and you're now the person asking your partner to suppress or change their ways when they meet their family, why do you do that? So that's two different questions right there. Please let me know, because I've always felt as if that's the case, well then that means one, you're either not allowing your family to get to know that person for who they truly are, or in reverse, it's also just not allowing yourself to be authentic. So therefore, who are they getting to know? Is that a flaw? Let me know your thoughts. Let's get into it.
My next question. What is it about my daughter that is so special to you?
A lot. And what I want in a relationship. I want loyalty. I don't like people lying to me. I hate that feelings, with all these things was her. And that made me understand, like, that's my person.
You know what's crazy? His answer was based on, I guess, certain things that we would maybe consider as our boundaries or our moral compass. Depending on how you want to look at it. There's so many different ways you can take what he says in whatever adaptation that you want. But what doesn't change is that he didn't actually tell the family core things about Marissa that he likes about her. He didn't sit there and say, you know what? When she came in my life, I like the fact that she brought something different, something that I was unaware of. Okay. I like the fact that when I met her, I appreciate the fact that she always made sure that I was straight. Like if I were to do something that I shouldn't be doing, she'd let me know that that's not right. She'd correct me in this, correct me in that. Now, by the way, this isn't a representation of their relationship, just to clarify. I'm just giving an example. Okay. End of the day, when somebody asks you that question, they want to hear you say something personal that you like about Marissa. All the things that he said about Marissa there, I'm not going to say they're not personal, but they wasn't really personal like that. Something that maybe the mother's always noticed, Like, for example, if you said something along the lines of, I love the way your daughter is so caring for me, my wife to be. And when I say she's caring for me, the way she makes sure that certain things are in order. The way she makes sure that I ain't doing, do you know what I mean? Like things that her mum would have probably taught her or her father. This is the key thing, folks. If a family member ever asks you, what do you like about my son? What do you like about my daughter? You need to speak about things that are deeply personal. Things that could potentially be the things that your person has been taught by their parents. Because then their parents can be like, oh, that's great. I like the fact that you've noticed these great qualities that I taught my child. It puts them on the pet. It makes them feel great. Because at that point, they're thinking, yeah, you're praising me. You're not praising them. You're praising me and my hard work. You know what I mean? But this guy decided to talk a whole bunch of gobbledygook.
Yes. My parents' approval means the world to me. Macho when he said, I love respect and loyalty. That's not what I would have led with. He's meaningful to me, which is that he loves the type of person that I am, and he loves my heart and the caring nature that I have. Really appreciate what I see in him.
But he didn't say none of that stuff. He kept it political. I mean, what we can say is he's definitely not media trained, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Edward's response there definitely didn't help him well. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts, though. If somebody asks you a question, what do you see in my daughter? What do you see in my son? What has brought you to the point where you want to marry them? How would you answer that question? Please do let me know. Now let's dive into the next one. Now this one here, probably I feel like these two are probably my least favorite couple of this season. Josh and Catie. Let's dive into this calamity.
Had a lot of fun with Ryan, but a little bit too much fun. That was I had made out a couple of times, but nothing further than that. Josh was there like 2 out of 4 of the times.
So first and foremost, we're finding out that there's this other guy now. We've already met 2 other guys so far that, you know, she's had a little situation with. Now there's another guy, and she wants Josh just to be okay with it. You know what it is? She understands that she doesn't respect herself. But she also understands that Josh doesn't respect himself, which is why she continues doing this. Because if Josh did respect himself, he wouldn't still be in this relationship with this woman. Do you see what I'm saying? It's 2 people that have really low self-esteem, to be honest, for this point.
There's a chance that when Josh finds out that Ryan's coming to the birthday party, he won't show up. Because he said he's never going 20 feet, within 20 feet of Ryan ever again.
But guess what? She invited him to her birthday party anyway. And this part, in my opinion, was the kicker.
You don't like to my birthday party. I invited Ryan. He told me he was here, and I was like, come to my birthday. But then I didn't really think very hard about to do. I just kind of got excited and invited.
It was the word excited. So this guy contacts you. And you got excited that he contacted you. So therefore you decided to invite him to your birthday party without thinking about the repercussions. Correct. But I'll answer this question though. Why is she so excited about this dude? This guy that is not her man. The guy that had an opportunity to even make himself her man. But didn't, because he doesn't want to, because he doesn't respect you. He understands what value you bring he understands what value that you would not bring to his life. That's why he only did what he did with you, and that's about it. But either way though, but she's excited that this guy rang her. This guy messaged her. Huh? I messaged him out of excitement? Yo, I'd be reading the hell into that. If that was me sitting there right now in Josh's position, has Josh, not as me, no, has Josh, I'd be reading into that. I'd be like, what? Why are you excited for? Why was you excited to hear from him? What does he bring to your life? But you know, like I said before, Josh does not respect himself. And that's why he's in his conundrum.
Yeah. They said they didn't sleep together, and I don't want to be living in a relationship where I'm second guessing things. So I'm choosing to take her at her word.
Choosing to believe her. Fair enough, she's been honest about everything else that she's done. Fair enough, fair enough. So therefore, what reason would he have to not believe her? You know, she says that them 2 simply only ever kissed. Nothing else but that. And the crazy part about it, what did she say? About 2 out of 4 times or something like that they've kissed? Josh was actually even around in the vicinity. But the other times was, of course, when she was traveling around with him, doing a running and all that kind of stuff. I mean, listen, you never know with Catie, right? You never know. But to be honest with you, does it really matter whether she's telling the truth or not regarding not sleeping with the man? She still was doing dilly-dally regardless.
The thing is, you must know by now what's good behaviour and what's not good behaviour. Like, from him as to his motives and why he thinks that his behaviour was acceptable. Be friends with him.
This is the most maddest part. First of all, is he knows that she doesn't care about what's good behavior and what's bad behavior. But now he's putting himself in a position where he now wants to confront this guy and ask him why he did what he did. How is that relevant? Your girl still accepted it. And if anything, she's probably the one that initiated it every single time. She's not the kind of person, honestly, she's not the kind of woman that you have to go up to and initiate anything. She's the kind of woman that always come up to you and initiate every single thing. Literally. The second that you see her walk in your direction as a man, you're going to be like, yep, we all know what's about to happen. She's going to want to kiss. A smart person would turn her down. A desperate person would obviously not turn her down. But all these other men, though, the only thing that makes them, I guess, slightly more intelligent than Josh is that none of them decided to actually wifey her. None of them actually decided to actually be in a committed relationship with her. But they understood that she's not that type of material. Or she's not the type of person to be with. Let me not say material.
Given like the amount of drama that is around this situation.
When we're not making poor choices, like he's like a fun person and he's like a good friend. Like, I feel like if I was crying in the middle of the night, he might answer.
How does that make any sense of why he needs to be in your life?
I feel if I was partying around with other women and
Probably be hurt and jealous. Be friends with that girl still. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because like we're not in that situation.
even to say that it sounds dumb.
We were competition, whoever.
Of course. They're not in that situation right now, so the conversation doesn't need to be had. Does that make sense? Just because the situation isn't happening, it doesn't mean it's a situation that shouldn't be spoke about. You've admitted that's hypocritical, but because it's not happening, it means it's not. But you know, Joshy boy. Joshy boy he'll just be like, okay, let me lay over for you then. Okay, you're right, I'm wrong. I'm a clown, you're a clown, we're both clowns.
Are you going to say that it sounds dumb?
We're competition. Whoever kisses the most people tonight wins.
Are you trying to get me to break up with you?
Yeah.
What?
Sorry, I'll stop.
You know the maddest thing about it is he said, are you trying to get me to break up with you? Dude, where have you been? Every single thing that she's done in this relationship has been more than enough to warrant a what? Say with me, a breakup. But for some reason, he can't seem to process the idea of realizing that they need to break up. That's why whenever the idea of breakup comes into mind, he doesn't finish the sentence. It's all nothing but a stutter. It's all nothing but a... This guy. So that would have been the pinnacle point. That little joke that she made. Even though we know the joke ain't really a joke. You know the thing that I find so peculiar? Why? I guess I know the answer. I was going to say, why do these men find the need to actually want to even be around this woman? She makes herself so unattractive with everything that she does. But again, people that are desperate, people that have low morals, people like Sarpo who just like to sleep with anyone and everyone because they're sleeping with someone and everyone. This is the issue. Those are the type of people that she targets. Or she targets the ones with no brain cells, complete delinquents. That being Josh. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh. Maybe I'm not. Either way though, processing that people want to stay in a relationship with her or people want to kiss her or anything like that, I don't understand. It blows my mind. You know, I've been bold for a while. But the more I watch this woman, the more bold I feel. I feel like I'm re-losing my hair follicles. I mean, to be fair, I have quite a lot of hair follicles. It's just the front that's balding, you know what I mean? But I feel like the rest of my hair follicles that haven't necessarily gone, they're not choosing to run away too because of the calamity behind this relationship. I can't process it. Yeah. Anyway, but just to clarify though, I do like being bold, to be fair. Yeah, boy by choice, yeah. I know I can get head transport, but I ain't got time for that. That's for insecure people. Yeah, I said it. But let's move on to the next one. Now we're going to talk about Mallorie and Rasit. Or Rasit.
I said, what? I'm Brandon. What is your problem? Like, what?
Someone came up to me and was like, if down to speak to my fiance, I'd be like, bitch, bye. Go on with yourself. Like,
interesting. So she's letting him know that if you had come up to me telling me that I can't speak to somebody else, well, I can't speak to your fiance, but then I tell you bye. Interesting. So therefore, her whole stance is to basically continue defending her relationship or her friendship with Brandy. Because he's got 3 bloody names on this show at this point. But one thing that I've noticed, this is something that I've now spoken about, I believe, in the last 2 weeks when it comes to Rasit. He's got a very violent nature and it's very concerning. Because last week he also spoke about wanting to fight Brandon. Then he said the same thing similar the previous week. And now because she has said this is how I would respond if somebody came up to me saying what you said, he says, well, if he had responded to me that way, this is what I would have done.
This, I will learn the punching.
oh,
Yeah. Who are you, bitch?
I just really dislike the fact that this guy is always quick to resort to a talk of violence. I'm going to say talk of violence because I haven't seen him actually make the action of violence. But that's quite concerning. And also on top of that, Mallorie is one hell of a piece of work. I get it. But the way he talks to her sometimes, yeah. It's not how I would agree it's okay to speak to a woman. Okay, unless maybe you're joking, there's a little bit of banter, you understand each other's banter, different conversation, but in a serious conversation, yeah. But this is the thing though, this really exposes where he's from, you know? But then again, I don't want to use where he's from as the reason to why he's the way he is, because that's not fair, because that means I'm generalizing the whole freaking the whole population of where he's from, which is not cool. But either way though, it represents his upbringing. That's the form. That's what I'm looking for.
Completely cut him out of my life.
Oh my God.
You to figure your out with each other, because we're all going to be in each other's lives. Rin, Michaela's husband,
Yeah.
you know that is his best friend.
Yeah.
So you don't want him around, then that means I can't spend time with Michaela.
There's a flaw in her thing. She's being smart here, but at the same time, you can also spend time with your friend whenever you like, without the boys being there. The boys don't have to be there for you to spend time with your friend. So she could still be able to see your friend, but she's making it as if like whenever she sees a friend, she always sees a friend with her husband, and when the husband's there, that means Brandon's there because they're best friends too. I mean, listen. The mad fact is though, can she avoid Brandon for the rest of their life, knowing that he's best friends with the husband of her best friend? Well, no. They're definitely going to be crossing paths every now and then. That's the inevitable. So therefore, this man is going to be in their lives no matter what. Pretty much in a nutshell, because it'd become hella awkward if she tried to see a friend all the time without seeing him, when that's not going to happen sometimes. Sometimes you're going to be in the same venue at the same time. Sometimes you're going to be in the same home at the same time. Do you see what I'm saying? But listen, end of the day, we know that Mallorie is not going to budge on this itself in particular. That's why I want to focus more on how this man responds.
Out with my best friend. He's going to be around.
No.
So you saw that, right? You saw that, right? You saw that. You saw that. I'm gonna show you. I'll play it again.
To be around.
So because he doesn't want to hear or doesn't like what she's saying, now all of a sudden he's tapping the knife to the side. I mean, listen, I ain't no expert when it comes to chopping up vegetables. I'm very basic at that. I mean, I'm a good cook, but when it comes to cutting up things, yeah, it's a bit of a sticky one for me still. But I've never in my life ever been around anybody, nor have I ever myself ever, and then boom. Anytime we've seen that happen in anything, whether it be a reality TV show, a normal TV show, a film, whatever, you name it, it's usually somebody showing in a form of frustration that translates into aggression. Is it okay behavior though? It's harmless, but is it okay? No. Is it harmless? Not really, because sometimes some people can become afraid because they notice that somebody has this wit about them where they can, or have this aggression about them where sometimes they may do things with certain objects which they shouldn't do, because therefore it puts fear in someone else's, mind. And also notice when he did that, Mallorie stopped talking instantly. So therefore she definitely was feeling like, oh, maybe I hit a nerve. Oh, what's going on here? Look at it this way. When Jasmine and Gino were having a dispute once upon a time, Jasmine had a knife in her hand. Everybody called her out for having that knife in her hand, and the way she was swinging it about when she was talking to Gino, and the way she looked like she was pointing at him too. She was called out. I'm giving this man the same treatment as any other cast member, because there's a pattern. Like I said before, last week he mentioned violence. The week before, I'm pretty sure he mentioned violence. This week he mentions it again. Then also on top of that, what does he do? With the knife, because he doesn't want to hit. He's not happy with what she's saying. These are the things that people consider small things that people let go over their head. These are the things that people should always be aware of, just in case. It doesn't necessarily mean that this person is a violent person or this person is going to be doing things they shouldn't be doing. But be alert, so therefore you're not. Be alert, so therefore you are never in for a surprise. That is the key part. If an unfortunate surprise was to happen, which obviously we don't want to happen. Don't let anything ever go past your head, trust me. And that's not coming from a paranoid standpoint, no. It just comes from just protecting yourself, just being sure.
No, you are pissing me off.
Good, because I'm a really good woman and just change everything about my life that I've been living these past couple of years, likes it or not. And honestly, if he has such a problem with my American culture, then maybe he should have been with a Turkish woman.
Now listen, there's nothing wrong with him expressing that she's obviously annoying him by saying she's pissing me off. It's a normal thing. Somebody annoys me, man or woman, I'll be like, listen, actually, no, that's not a me thing to do, to be honest with you. No, if it's one of the guys, I'll be like, hey bro, you need to calm down, man. You're starting to get on my nerves. Okay, that's the first way of saying it. You go too far, then I'm like, okay, now you piss me off, like you need to stop, you see what I'm saying? If it's a woman on the other hand, doesn't matter whether it's a woman that is a friend or I'm dating or whatever, I will say, hey, okay, you're now getting my nerves. I don't like this. This is making me feel a certain type of way. If she then decides to continue, then I leave. I'm not responding again, but I definitely don't want to be using that type of tone personally. Okay, it's just the way I function, because there are so many people in this world that have been with so many people that have used words that are not kind. Do you see what I'm saying? So the question is, do you believe that it's okay for him to be using, for him to mention wanting to fight Brandon every other scene? Do you think it's okay for him to be talking the way he does talk when he doesn't like what he hears from Mallorie? Is it okay for him to be slamming knives? How would these things make you feel in person? That's what I would like to know, okay, from you folks. And something you should always consider. So ask yourself that question and let me know your thoughts, please, please, please.
Should have been with the Turkish one.
Oh yeah, and then this comment itself in particular. The typical comment. I mean, listen. The matter of the fact is, there is truth to what she said. I've always said this. If you're going to date someone from a different culture or a different country or whatnot, it is important that both people involved learn about each other's upbringing, each other's past, each other's environment, learn every single thing, so therefore you can understand each other better. The flaw here is that neither one of them are really understanding each other enough. For her to sit there and say, well, you should have married a Turkish woman isn't a good response, because that doesn't solve anything. If anything, the conversation or the response, if anything, should be like, listen, this is how I live my life, and I understand that this is how you live your life, but this is where we need to come to a compromise. If we can't come to a compromise, well, then maybe we need to separate. Because that is a far better approach, far better response than the typical one of, well, you should have been with an American woman instead, or a Turkish woman instead, or da-da-da-da-da. That doesn't solve anything. That's a cop-out. It's a stupid thing to say. It's a petty thing to say. So is that response there? Not a fan.
Face, please.
I just want this to be over with.
I don't want to see your face right now.
Okay, just turn your back.
And then there's also that one too. I don't want to see your face anymore again. Again, like I said, these are things that a lot of the time can be deemed as nothing dramatic, it's minor. And I'm not saying, and sometimes they are nothing dramatic, and sometimes they are minor. They're not big issues. But like I said before, when there's a pattern from somebody speaking in ways, you've got to pay attention to the pattern. Especially, for example, Mido. We are all paying attention to his pattern, and that's why we are comfortable calling him out, because of the pattern that he is given. But because Mido is somebody that's already disliked, it's easier to call him out rather than someone like Rishi. But this is why I always say, folks, always keep your eyes open to all cast members. Okay, there is not one that's better than the other. Well, there is sometimes, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. Either way, though, we're now going to move on to the next one, and funny enough, we're actually now going to be talking about Mido and Debby.
She made a big mistake with me when Debby questioned my virginity. Did some photos with some girls in Egypt. Of course, I told her, shut your mouth.
You see what I mean? This is where obviously people get comfortable with me calling him out because you don't like him. But again, just because she called you out for your virginity doesn't mean that you then disrespect or speak in a way that is unnecessary. If she says something that you don't like, just don't respond. If you know the only words coming out of your mouth are going to be words that you shouldn't be saying, then just don't say anything. Walk away. Simple as 1, 2, 3. That's it. But no, this man obviously decides to, escalate things. Whenever he doesn't get his own way with Debby, he escalates things to a whole different level. And to make it worse, not only does he escalate things, he then does not take any accountability in any shape or form, which therefore is why, and that's only one of the reasons of why people don't like this guy, understandably. But let's continue. Oh, but I was going to say though, if anything, if he is a virgin, it probably means that he's virgin in terms of not sleeping with women. It doesn't mean he doesn't sleep with men though, but something's off key. Not off key, that's the wrong term to say, because that means being gay is off key, which is not, no. Because it's very clear that it feels as if he's hiding his true identity. Yeah. Or true sexuality. Yeah. See what I mean? Power words. That's why sometimes when I say certain words, I'm like, oh no, that one doesn't fit that sentence. That's why, no, let me retract that one. Do you see what I'm saying? Power words. It's the same thing that I'm saying right now when it comes to Rasit, the way he's talking. If you know that the words are going to come out of your mouth, I'm going to be kind. Don't say anything. Same as this dude here. If you're going to say certain things and those words aren't going to be kind, don't say it at all. And if you do say it, then at least be apologetic about it. This fool here isn't apologetic in any shape or form. He says things and he expects apologies to himself for the things. It's like he'll say something horrible, but they still expect you to apologize. Make it make sense. Power of words, folks. Power of words.
It's finished. It's over.
I have no idea if Mido has booked a flight or not to return home.
We both know, yes, you and I, Debbie, and everybody else watching, this man would not be able to book a flight without your bank account. So you know he hasn't. That's why I found it hilarious when he sat there saying, I'm looking for flights, but I can't find any. But how is he going to pay for them? We know he doesn't lift a finger for nothing.
I have to say, like, no matter what culture you're from, saying shut your mouth, woman, is completely unacceptable.
It's not acceptable behavior. She's been wonderful some days. We've had some of the greatest days.
I understand that, but not having a great day shouldn't always result in complete
disrespect. Debbie needs to listen to her friend. But we already know that this marriage went through anyway, so we therefore know that listen to her friend is something that she didn't do clearly. And to be fair, the moment that she started saying about how he has we do have good days, I was like, yep, it's a wrap. The second she started, yeah, we have good days. That's when you knew that she's back at square one of still wanting to be with this man.
toddler-esque meltdown.
Yeah.
Like, Mido really loves you?
I don't know. Right now, I don't know.
Right now, you don't know. So, okay, let's change the question. Have you ever felt like he's ever loved you at any point? That's what I would have then rephrased it into that question. But unfortunately, the friend wasn't thinking like that, which is fine. But either way, though, to say right now, I don't know is crazy work.
And I don't think he can come back from it. I don't think it would be right to even give him another chance. Honestly.
He's going to have to apologize. He's going to have to make some apologies.
Now, let's not forget this one, folks. Okay, we're going to have to remember this for next week. She says that he's going to have to make some apologies. Because right now, both Debbie and Mido both said their relationship is pretty much done. Obviously, but she's saying that for it to be revived, it will be involving him apologizing. So now we have to wait and see if an apology does come. But the question is, even if he apologizes, is it still enough for her to take him back? Give me your thoughts. Would you still take someone back like Mido after an apology, knowing everything they've done? I mean, you can accept the apology. Doesn't mean you have to take them back. But give me your thoughts, please. Now we're going to move on to the next one. And this one is all about Paula and Thomas. Thomas and Paula. This is...
We hang out with other people wear perfume. See, and with me, he started to be super allergic. A way of control. I really hate that. Easy to throw my rocks away as you did with my perfume.
My apologies, I phased out there. Now, I want you to remember that Paula just mentioned about control. She feels that this man does what he does for control purposes. Because to be fair, she does raise a very good point. When they are around other people who are wearing perfumes, he doesn't seem to have a reaction. But when she does it, it's an issue. So to be fair, she may be on something. Maybe this man does enjoy the idea of controlling her. Something to remember, folks.
Rocks away as you did with my perfume. If you want to lose one teeth, you're going to mess with my rocks. Control every little thing that I do. Like money only worth while I'm alive.
Now let's go back again. So, we know that she doesn't have money, so therefore she's using his credit card. Well, in fact, he even got her a credit card. But she decides to buy obviously these rocks because we know that she's into manifestations. Yes. And he's not happy with the fact that she spent money on these rocks. Because he feels like their money, or his money, should we say, should be going to better use. Because obviously he needs that money to last them up until she can get work. Which I completely respect and do agree with. So therefore, her buying things that she doesn't really need, or things that's going to benefit them right now, does feel like she shouldn't be happy. But either way, though, she's seeing this as also him being controlling again by restricting her on what she can and cannot buy. But let's continue.
While I'm alive. It's time that I really put our relationship in a point like, would I get married with this guy?
Listen, to be honest, if you cannot get on the same page when it comes to finances, it is a very good time to ask yourself regarding should I get married to this person or not. But their situation with the finances, unfortunately for her, it's actually more because of her than it is because of him. But you see.
And so aggressive. It's just a symbol of my manifestations.
Card. This is your credit card with your name on it. I pay the bills for this. I need you to help me survive.
I'll take care.
You know what I love though, this scene? You see the way she gets so happy when he gives her the credit card. He's like, but this is yours, right? But you need to be careful, okay? Because what you spend here is still very effective. Because I have to pay back for you right now. She's so happy, but
I'll take care.
So if you spend a lot of money, I have to pay for it.
and then her face dropped, understanding that. Hold on a minute, that's a very good point. Ah, shit. So what we got here, folks, is somebody that has issues with finances. Being in a relationship with somebody that has issues with finances is crazy. Somebody who doesn't understand not the value of money, but the power of money. Dangerous person to be around.
I'll take care.
So I have to pay for it.
We live in a cashless society. If Paula doesn't have a credit card, I am actually concerned about letting her roam free in the US. At the same time, like, I am absolutely terrified about what she's going to do with it. She wades in and out of credit card debt. I mean, I didn't tell her this, but that
There you go. Paula has a history of being in credit card debt. She's somebody that obviously gets credit cards, buys what she wants, and then gets another one, and then buys what she wants, then gets another one, and doesn't actually necessarily pay them back in due time. So I can understand his hesitancy when it comes to this whole credit card situation. So for her to have the audacity to question them getting married over money is crazy, given the fact that she's the one that's actually in the wrong regarding the money. But of course, in this situation, can she then now tell him off or say that she feels as if this is him trying to control her again? I mean, for someone who's got a bad history with money, I don't think I would say yes, it is him trying to control you, but not control you in a bad way. It's him more trying to make sure that he can money manage your money, so therefore you two can continue surviving up until you can get a job. And then at that point, I guess, at that point, then she can do whatever she wants with whatever money that she gets. But up until that point, maybe she can learn a thing or two about the value or the power of money, should we say. But she wasn't wrong, though. Earlier on, she did say that at the end of the day, money doesn't go with us when we pass away. So if I'm going to use money, I'm going to buy things that are going to mean something to me now, and they're going to be spiritual to herself when she leaves, which I completely understand. I understand and agree with that type of philosophy or that type of mindset, but it doesn't mean that you have to then put yourself in a complete situation where finances become challenging. Something that she obviously should be very worried about. Again, not aware of the power of money, or maybe even the value.
out of credit card debt. I mean, I didn't tell her this, but that credit card has a $25,000 spending limit. Like, I didn't know how to get it any lower. So she could do some pretty bad damages.
25,000, bro. What salary do you have? Damn, man. If I had a credit card that went down that low, I'd be like, damn, I'm balling. yeah. God damn, too fair. I bet even have credit cards, to be fair. I'm not a big fan of it. I feel like they can get some of us in big trouble, but it makes some of us a whole lot more richer. Depends on how you want to go about it. But anyway, let's continue.
I want you to start life differently in the US. I want you to say, hey, listen, I want to be more reserved. I want to be more careful.
I swear to God.
Listen, at the end of the day, I do agree with him in this time round. Do you know what I mean? She should be doing better, because the money is for both of them. It's not just for herself. And they need to find a way to survive up until, further notice. But give me your thoughts, though. Do you think that he has a right to, be the way he is when it comes to the whole money situation? Or do you think he's in the wrong? Give me your thoughts, please. Now, with that being said, we're going to move on to the next one and the last one. This one is going to be Ashia and Maxwell. So obviously, Ashia right now is in Nigeria with her mother and meeting his family members.
Married to my brother. How many kids do you intend to have?
2. Kids you are talking about is unacceptable.
Nigeria, what we think?
Being told it's unacceptable is crazy business, but the mother says that she wants 4 kids. Her son and Ashia must produce 4 kids. And right now, that's a sticky situation because there has not been an agreement regarding that.
Think about the US. They see them as people that are not submissive. Because here in Nigeria, it's expected of you that you must be submissive to that man.
He doesn't know what he likes until he sees it.
You can't tell me he doesn't know what he likes until he's a man.
She's letting you know that this is how you need to behave, and her response is, well, so I'm still gonna do me no matter what. To be fair.
In my eyeballs.
Really?
Let me tell you, Blaze, he's been letting the sun damage the white part of his eyes.
Yeah, that white part of our eyes is not usually white.
It's not that it's not white. What he's been doing is going out in the sun, damage as a protective, a special coating.
Aisha's the kind of person that if you tell her something that she doesn't want to hear, then she's not listening. She literally just told you that nobody in Nigeria has pure white eyes around the white area. And she continued to elaborate and goes, "Whoa, that's because he's." What do you mean he? No, she just told her it's a thing for everyone there, and they're all completely fine. Honestly, I do find it bizarre. Sometimes we have to really pay attention to what we are told, folks. Many years way before all of our times, okay, folks, there was many people that had to live a life without with the sun. Well, people still do live a life with the sun literally every day in their eyes. But I don't know if there's ever been any report information about how the sun can damage your eyes, apart from if you look at it directly too much. So to be fair, what I want to know is, where does she get her research regarding the white part having to be super white? Where is this research from? Is she saying the sun is the reason why this has happened? But again, though, if this was a massive issue, then why is it so many people in African countries and other hot countries have been able to survive for a very long time with the sun always being in their face and their eyes being slightly yellow or whatever it is, and being completely fine? Again, I want to know about her studies. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I want to know about her studies, because the girl started going on a whole preach at this point.
Damage as a protective, a special coating of skin rolls over the pupil where people see. And see, he has it on the whites.
That's what Nigerians, that white part is not usually well. Look at mine. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking. Like, are you okay? The eye is the delicate part of the body. It should be his decision. He should be the one saying, I want to get this done.
Right.
She's not lying. She's not lying. The matter of the fact is, Aisha doesn't actually like this sister, because the sister's always calling her out. Because you see, the sister is the one that is letting Maxwell know that this woman should not be controlling or telling him what to do. And this is where the clash is always going to be. And in reality, I'm on the sister's side. To come in this man's life and you're trying to tell him to have a hair transplant. Now he's sort his eyes out. I mean, the skin, his skin, to be fair, I agree with that, to be fair, you know what I mean? But you're just trying to change every single part about him. So the question is, though, what does she even love about him? What does she even like about him? Seems to me the only thing that she likes and cares regarding him is the fact that she can change him, mold him. But when it comes to him being who he is originally, I've never seen her speak about anything about him that she likes that is about him before she, do you know what I mean? Like, that's actually about him.
And I know we're going to do it, and we're going to continue to do it. And so he's going to have to let them go. Like, he's wrong, let him go.
So basically, in the nutshell now, she's still saying that, listen, I'm going to win this battle. Like, first one was we're going to get him to America. And then once I get into America and you're not here anymore, I'm going to change him. He's going to be my little puppet. Do I feel sorry for him? No, because he's got a choice to run away from this woman. So if he's choosing to stick around, well, then that's his choice. Well, this is now just about to got interesting, because I was losing hope in this storyline. It was going a bit nowhere, but now we've got the clash with the sister. It's looking interesting, and also the mother too. It's looking like this storyline is going to start picking up now. So I'm looking forward to what happens to them the next time we see them on screen. But hey, let me know your thoughts down below in the questions, down below in the comment sections, and all the questions that I asked you, folks. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you so much for your time.